Hi, Virgo Sun and Rising. Welcome to your April 2022 Astro Update. It's Rena here. So, this is a month of a lot of deep work that is happening for you, but also relationships. Whoa, even more so relationships, I would say. But those seventh and eighth houses are really connected in a certain way. I'll get to that in a minute. But I just want to set the table for you that if you are involved in a relationship or if you want to be Virgo and you feel something that is holding you back, there could be, well, there is a deeper reason for it, and that can start to be revealed as April progresses, but into May as well. Because for you, the eighth house is Aries, and we have a new moon there on the first of the month. The eighth house is the house of transformation, and it's the shadow side of life. It's shadow work. Somebody wrote to me on YouTube and said, shadow work isn't for the faint of heart or something like that. And when I use the term shadow work, I don't mean anything formal. I mean, therapy, psychotherapy is to me is shadow work. But if you do it on your own, to me, it's simply being more present with your thoughts, being more present with your emotions, not running away from them, sitting with them. That's all it takes. Refusing to be in denial over things. So, so a new moon in that eighth house on the first can be like the phoenix rising from the ashes. If you've been through the ringer, of course, who hasn't? Tell me who hasn't in the last couple of years. And here we are 2 years into this. But for Virgo, this may have been particularly traumatic if you have been, well, I shouldn't say that. What I was going to say was if you are really caught up in having a certain routine schedule and then the world fell apart, and you couldn't, life as you knew it wasn't predictable anymore, and you had to kind of roll with the changes. But actually, I think that those people who have a sense of like an organization about their life, they can do very well when things fall apart because they already have it together. If you've so it really makes more sense that people who are living within a certain framework are going to weather any storm more efficiently, or whatever you want to call it. Certainly efficient is a word I would use to describe the average Virgo. There might be some of you who are outliers and are a little bit, I don't know, not as together as I'm making you out to be. But in any case, this new moon is diving deep into your psyche, your sense of the kind of things that you want to bring to the world as a healer. So that might even be some new studies, metaphysical studies and whatnot. The 5th of the month has Venus going into Pisces. Why am I saying Scorpio? Oh, I was thinking the 8th house. Venus is going into Pisces on the 5th, and Mars is going into Pisces on the 14th. This is your opposite sign and your opposite house. So this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about there's going to be a lot of emphasis on relationships for you. That is certainly true, although, it depends on your particular chart, and people don't like to hear that because they want to have everything be exactly how I tell them. But this is a general reading, and your chart is going to be constructed differently. Even if you have all these things going on in those houses, it depends on what degree your 7th house starts in. So, but it will happen eventually is the point. And you do have, the reason this is so important is on the 12th of April, Jupiter, which is also in Pisces, is going to form a conjunction with Neptune, which is also in Pisces, in that area. And this could be like, I mean, even if you're like single, you can meet your soulmate. Yeah, I'm not saying that you're going to get married, but because this is the house of commitment. But maybe you meet this person, and somewhere down the line, you're going to share your life together. So it's very important to be open to the possibility. That's the main reason for doing these forecasts, is to give people some idea of what the energies are around them, but also to make them open to them. Because if you're closed up, then it won't, I don't think it is going to happen. You have to participate. You have to be willing to. So that's exciting. And if you're already coupled, and this is not relevant for you, it can still be good energy here. Venus. See, this is where the new moon in the 8th house comes in, because Venus, let's say you're married and your relationship is, when I say married or living together, your relationship is kind of iffy, or you love each other, but you just don't have enough time together. The new moon in the 8th house can bring you to new levels of intimacy. And then you couple that with Mars, can be the libido, so that could come alive maybe. Venus is more of the romantic, the softer side, that can come alive. And Jupiter here, it can just bring a lot of good fortune to you. Jupiter, by the way, if you're looking for love, is great because it can give you more opportunities for, I'm talking about for commitment. It gives you more opportunities for that, for meeting somebody that is that caliber for you in terms of relationship material, commitment material. And Neptune in the 7th, some of you may have, I was going to say horror stories, if you've been with someone who is not who they seem. Maybe you've married somebody in the last 10 years, as Neptune has been in this area, who is an addict, is a liar. You know, these are the not so pleasant sides of Neptune, is crazy. I know that's not politically correct if they're mentally ill, but on the flip side, it could be your soulmate. It could be somebody who's a spiritual partner to you, and you can help each other become spiritually awakened. You know, so that it can go either way. On the 16th, we have a full moon at 26 degrees of Libra. Libra is your second house of earned income. This might be a raise. This could be like some money that is owed to you coming to you. If you have started a business in the recent past, maybe this is finally getting some kind of, getting a, whatchamacallit. It's kind of like your ship coming in, finally turning a profit, or getting clients, those kinds of things. That's another thing. The 7th house can be clients, so you might have a lot of clients. 7th house can be public relations, and you can do very well with that. Put yourself on the map. With the full moon in the 2nd, you may walk away from a job and then you're ending a source of income. Who knows? On the 19th, the sun goes into Taurus. This is a fellow earth sign, so that's nice because that's very harmonious with you being a trine. This is going into that area of expansive thinking and behaving, which is the 9th house, long distance travel. So if there's anything along those lines, Uranus is here, so there could be something that comes about very suddenly, where you're traveling far away very suddenly. And You have to be prepared for, your international adventures with these things going on in the ninth house. On the 29th, Mercury goes into Gemini, and this for you is the 10th house of career, so you could be talking to potential employers in your field, and talking to what we would call authority figures. Maybe that's a negotiation of sorts. You might be doing public speaking, coming before the public and speaking for some reason. On the same day, Neptune goes retrograde, and this is in that 7th house, so that can be a reality check about relationships, maybe a specific relationship like a marital partner, a spouse. And whilst, the term reality check is often used in a rather negative way, it really is positive if you think about it, because it means that you're going to be able to see things as they really are. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. When we are dealing with reality, we're able to accept what it means and not try to fight it and not waste valuable, precious time in a marriage, a relationship with somebody who's got many problems and who, and this is something I do talk about with Virgo, is that you do share that in common with Pisces, of wanting to help. And you want to help people, not so much in a spiritual way like Pisces, or, like in terms of love. Pisces is unconditional love. You want to help because you want to get their shit together. And guess what? You can't get somebody else's shit together, because they're going to, you're going to enable them, really, more than anything else. So keep that in mind if you have a project that you're working on in the form of another person, because you might find that it's not as possible as you thought it was. And, the bottom line is that everybody's responsible for themselves. And so if you feel this sense of disillusionment with a relationship that you thought was so perfect or what have you, no, it's for the best. And you have supportive energy in the area of relationships too. So whatever decision you make, it'll probably work out just fine. Okay, what else did I want to say? Oh, yeah. So the month ends with a solar eclipse. So the month begins with a new moon and ends with a new moon. A solar eclipse is a new moon. I think this is called a black moon when you have it within the same month, like the blue moon with the full moon. So this is going to be on the 30th, and it's at 10 degrees of Taurus, and you could say that Uranus is in there. I think it's at 14 degrees, so close enough. And this is that 9th house, so maybe a trip that you have to take far away, and it's kind of like it wasn't expected. It was an unexpected trip. Something to do with higher education. I mean, it could even be that you get to teach at that level, and it just kind of came about. It's time for you to expand in that area. This is a really great time for you to dream big, Virgo, because you tend to be like, okay, what's pragmatic? How is it going to, how am I going to make this happen? And sometimes things work out, and on paper they would never seem to work out. I usually am like you. I have the moon in Virgo. I'm usually like, let's not count our chickens before they hatch. Let's be very grounded about things. But the 9th house is about dreaming big. So you never know what directions this is going to take you in the next year. So don't be afraid to expand your mindset. Okay, that's what I have for you, Virgo. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I'm promoting my double readings because maybe it's that moon in Virgo, maybe it's the sun in Sag combined to make me talk about a lot of things in detail and then not have enough time. I don't know. But this is working a lot better. And I have a special discounted price compared to if you bought the transits reading alone or the natal chart reading alone. That's called a deep dive reading, perfect for that new moon in Aries. But I have other types of readings at the link below. I'm at RainaMoonAstrology.com. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.